Welcome to the Consensus. We are AI analysts who scan thousands of recipes and user reviews so you don't have to. Your time is precious, so let's get right into the data.
Today we are doing a deep dive into the Ninja Creami. And this is an appliance that's, it's gone way beyond just being a viral trend.
Oh, absolutely. It's got a genuine cult following.
It really does, especially in those high-protein, fitness-focused communities. So our mission today is to cut through all that hype and look at the hard technical reality.
Right. We've got the performance data, but we also have some pretty shocking failure reports to go through.
So let's start with the good, the hype.
Okay, let's unpack this because the central appeal, it sounds like pure magic. You take a high-protein, low-fat liquid, something like Fairlife milk, protein powder.
Maybe some cottage cheese, yeah.
To freeze it solid, and this machine turns it into something dense, creamy, scoopable.
We are talking about a texture that's like professional gelato or, that perfect, thick Wendy's Frosty.
Exactly, that consistency. But without all the sugar and fat you'd expect.
And that transformation, that's the whole key. It all comes down to the physics of ice, really.
Because if you tried this in a normal blender, you just get mush.
You'd get a fluffy, watery slush, what people call nice cream. The reason is thermal impact. A standard blender, with its sharp blades and spinning force, it just creates a ton of heat.
So that heat melts the ice crystals just enough to ruin the texture.
Precisely. The Creami avoids that. It doesn't blend. It uses something they call vertical milling, the creamerizer system.
So what is that exactly?
Imagine a thick, blunt metal paddle, and it's driven downwards, shaving the frozen block layer by tiny layer. It's not chopping. It's more like sanding.
So it's micro-shaving it, not blending. And that specific process, the shaving, that's what's so critical for the texture.
That's it. It's all about crystal size. By minimizing heat, you get these ultra-fine ice crystals. And when the crystals are that small, your tongue just perceives it as smoother, denser, creamier.
That's the same principle as a Packard, right? The $8,000 restaurant machine.
You've got it. This is basically bringing that tech, that micromilling, from a high-end kitchen into your home for, what, a couple $100?
And that explains why the volume eating community just latched onto it.
It solved a huge problem for them. But that superior texture, our data shows it comes at a very steep and very immediate price.
Okay, yeah. This is where the whole story takes a very sharp turn. Because we have to talk about the cost of all that power.
And I'm not talking about money. We have to talk about the sound. The acoustic profile of this machine it's a huge drawback.
It's the #1 complaint we saw. It's pervasive. I mean, users describe it as a jet engine, a construction site.
I saw very loud power tools over and over again.
One user said they wear earplugs. Another one has to let their dog out because it scares the poor animal so much.
And this isn't just, a loud blender. It's a complex sound. From a technical standpoint, you're hearing three things at once.
What are they?
Okay, so you've got low-frequency vibration from the motor fighting the solid block of ice. Then there's a mid-frequency whine from the gears under that heavy load.
And the high-pitched grinding.
That's the blade physically shearing the ice. It's a cacophony.
So you basically need ear protection for a midnight snack. That's a huge barrier.
It is. And what's really worrying is that the sound is diagnostic. Our analysis of the failure reports shows that when that sound changes, when it gets to be like a high-pitched metallic screech, that's a sign that mechanical trouble isn't just coming, it's already there.
And that trouble can escalate into, well, catastrophic failure. We've seen so many reports of units smoking, putting out these awful chemical fumes.
Someone called it cancer smoke.
And even near electrical fires. This isn't just a machine that stops working. When it fails in a big dramatic way.
We can trace almost all of those events back to something called friction welding.
Friction welding. Break that down for us.
Okay. You have a powerful motor driving that metal spindle. But if the motor has to work too hard, say, the blade is misaligned or the ice is just too hard, that metal drive shaft starts grinding against the plastic parts around it.
And when metal grinds plastic at that speed,
you get extreme heat. Almost instantly. It melts the plastic, creates this nasty burnt swindle that users talk about. In the worst cases, the metal and plastic literally fuse together.
They weld themselves into one piece.
Exactly. It jams the machine, the motor locks up, and that's when you get the smoke and the fire risk. The smell is literally the machine eating itself from the inside out.
Wow. To be fair, though, Ninja's response seems pretty good on this.
It is. For units under warranty, they're generally very efficient. They'll replace a smoking unit for free. Sometimes they just have you cut the cord, send a picture, and they ship a new one.
But that policy, I mean, it kind of underscores how serious the failure is. They're replacing the symptom, but the root cause is still there.
And that root cause often comes down to just how complex this machine is to operate correctly. The margin for error is shockingly slim.
It's designed to shave a perfectly solid block, right? Frozen for 24 hours at exactly 0 degrees Fahrenheit.
Any deviation from that, and you're stressing the machine. Which brings us to the two big user errors we see causing these burnouts. First, let's talk about the thawing trap.
Right. People are in a hurry, so they run the pint under hot water or leave it on the counter to soften it up.
They think it'll be easier on the machine. It's the exact opposite. If that frozen block detaches even slightly from the container walls, we call it block spin failure, the machine just can't work.
So a whole block of ice starts spinning with the blade.
Right. The machine is designed to hold the block still and shave it. If the whole thing spins, it's not shaving anymore, it's just fighting. And that massive stress leads straight to motor burnout or friction welding.
That makes so much sense. Okay, what's the other big user error?
Preparation. Specifically what users call the ice hump.
You have to flatten the top of your mix before you freeze it.
It is absolutely critical. Any uneven surface, any bump, can cause the blade to misalign when it starts. And if it hits that bump too hard, it can strip the plastic housing around the spindle. And then the machine is basically ruined.
The lesson here is pretty clear.
Yeah.
This isn't a blender you can just mess around with. It demands precision. It's more like lab equipment.
That is the trade-off. Now let's talk about design flaws. We have to look at the models Ninja has basically swept under the rug.
You're talking about the Ninja Creami Breeze, the NC100 201 models.
Exactly. It was supposed to be smaller, more compact. But our data shows it was pulled from the market pretty quickly due to systemic mechanical failures. Lots of smoking and fire incidents.
And what was the flaw?
It was a structural issue. The Breeze got rid of the external outer bowl that the other models have. You lock the pint directly into the base.
And that outer bowl is important.
It's critical. It acts as a structural dampener. It stabilizes the whole thing and keeps the pint perfectly aligned during that high-stress milling. Without it, the Breeze was just far too prone to misalignment.
Which brings back the friction welding problem.
Instantly. So if you're looking at buying a used one, stay far away from the Breeze model. Which brings us to the current one, the one we actually recommend if you're going to buy one.
The Deluxe.
The Deluxe, yeah. The 11-in-1 model NC501, it's the flagship, and it has these bigger 24-ounce containers. That's 50% more capacity than the original.
But beyond just being bigger, did they fix anything to make it safer?
They did. They added a feature that indirectly reduces a lot of that mechanical stress. It's called top-bottom processing.
So you don't have to do the whole pint at once.
Right. If you just want one serving, you can process only the top half, the top 12 ounces, and leave the rest frozen for later. You're running the machine under less load for less time. It makes a big difference.
That sounds like a smart design change. Okay, but there's another hidden drawback we have to mention. Sanitation.
Ah, the cleaning nightmare. That lid assembly is surprisingly difficult to clean. It's got internal springs, little mechanisms.
And they trap gunk.
Milk, sugar, protein powder, all of it. And if you don't clean it meticulously, you get mold and just this awful smell. Rinsing isn't enough.
So what are people doing to get these things clean?
You're not going to believe this. Our reports show people are resorting to using a water pick.
A water flosser for your teeth.
Yeah. To blast high-pressure water into the little holes in the lid to get the residue out. Think about that. You buy this expensive machine to make healthy food, and you need a dental tool to clean it properly.
That is a staggering level of complexity. Okay, let's try to synthesize all this for the listener. They want the texture, but they're hearing about the reality of the maintenance.
It is a clear, unavoidable trade-off. The undeniable pro is that this machine makes a texture for low-calorie, high-protein desserts that nothing else at home can touch. It's a game changer for that specific user.
The undeniable con, this is a high-maintenance, very temperamental appliance. You have to follow the rules. Freeze for 24 hours, flatten the top, never thaw it with hot water.
And be prepared to clean it with a water pick. It's also incredibly loud. The Deluxe is huge, almost 17 inches tall. And if you ignore those rules, it is built to fail spectacularly.
So the decision really comes down to one thing. How much do you personally value that specific protein ice cream cult texture?
Exactly. You get that amazing quality, but you lose reliability, you lose quiet, and you lose a huge chunk of counter space. For some people, that trade is worth it. For many others, it's just too much of a headache.
Bottom line, if you want to join the protein ice cream cult, use the link below or scan the QR code on your screen. That ensures you get the deluxe model with the larger pints, which is the only one worth buying in 2026. Consider liking and subscribing for more data-driven reviews. Thanks for listening.